Hey everybody, I'm a pirate.
Hey guys, look at the new and improved Nathan.
I've got a
Pirate,
collared
and there's
shirt
a
on.
gold chain and all that. Man, what's
And I'm showing
happening
my
with you?
chest.
Wow.
You
So,
know what
what's
that says
going
on my
on?
chest?
What's going on? Yeah.
It says play for keeps because I used to kickbox and I thought it would sound cool.
Wow.
So you see all the transformations in myself, right?
So different, man. So different.
How,
You will be now so peaceful and happy, right?
it's weird. I think that we all think that changing our appearance and all that. I mean, I think in some ways it helps the current mindset that we're in. But it doesn't necessarily change anything unless like something internally shifts somehow. And
Yeah.
even
I
then,
mean, we with anything, we hope that that will change something, for the better forever and so on, right? But
yeah,
things will keep changing. So yeah, this looks fun.
it's a constant evolution. I feel kind of good this way. It feels like
Yeah,
flowy. It
it's
feels like
awesome.
soft on my skin.
Yeah.
And I do like gold. I'm not gonna lie. It's a weird thing, but I'm also trying not to be too consumed with like material items and too consumed with like money at the same time. There's a
Why
lot of
not?
things.
Why not?
Um,
What's wrong with that?
there's actually nothing wrong with
Exactly.
it.
It's kind of like, reminds me of those memes when there's a guy and he's like, you know what? I used my ego to get rid of my ego, and now I'm so egoless. I'm so much better than everybody, right?
I know that one that you're talking about. It is
It's kind of
crazy.
like it's same bullshit. Oh, you should not be materialistic. You should not be this and that. You know
Yeah.
what? Be whatever you are. You're
No,
perfect.
I agree. I think it's like it reminds me of that thing. I'm gonna start a timer actually because you know how I am. I'll start talking so much and
Yeah.
I'll try to hold on to this and you'll be like, I gotta go, man. So
Yeah.
all right, it started. It reminds me of that meme that I've seen where it's like it shows the universe and then the dot and then the arrow. It says you are here worrying about money and paying taxes or something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of like always trying
It's
to shift
it's
everything.
it's all that self hypnosis, right? Because when we
Yeah,
try to use some words to reject what we feel, but you know what? Fuck this shit. You can draw pictures, how small you are, how big you are, and all of this, but you feel what you feel. So
yeah,
none of that shit works.
yeah.
I
It is
mean,
kind of
like,
crazy.
and there's nothing wrong with it. Want to do affirmations, do them. Want to do meditation, meditate. I've done a lot of that for many years, and want to do mushrooms, want to do water fast, whatever you want to do, man.
Yeah, I might do a fast again. That one thing I've been dealing with today is like just, I guess like emotionally, like I don't know. I've noticed a lot of like in relationships. It's funny because it started with breakups, and
Yeah,
now every day I'm like going through. I actually have a good relationship now, but I'm noticing a lot about myself and how I react to things, how I see things, how I hear things from other people.
yeah.
And I'm thinking that in relationships, a lot of the problems that we have are like, it's all good to experience the issues. But I think that there's a lot going on that it's like I'm not aware of what I'm doing, how I'm seeing things, and how other people are seeing things too. And that might cause friction a lot of times.
No, of course, right?
Yeah.
Like, because basically you're doing stuff, and in your mind it's totally innocent. You don't even notice, right? Because it's all just being done, and then somehow it pushes a button in the other person, right? And for them, it's perceived as an attack. It's as breaking the boundary or whatever the fuck, right?
Yeah.
And we do the same thing, right? And then they freak out, and then we react to them freak out, and we get stuck in this loop.
Yeah.
So it's inevitable, of course, just because there are two very different universes
Yeah.
interacting, and constantly something is born there. Sometimes there is this connection and joy and enjoyment, and sometimes it's like, you did this to me, no, you suck, no, you suck. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. It's like if you're walking down a hallway and there's all these windows, and every other window is heaven, hell, heaven, hell, heaven, hell. It's like this weird, like constant thing, like where,
yes, but let's take it further, and they're not even windows, they're mirrors.
oh, damn.
right? And
Oh
then
man,
it's your own reflection, but each mirror
right,
is
beautiful.
different. It reflects in a slightly different light, slightly different color, a slightly different way.
Wow.
And what might be endearing to one person, another person, like, no, this is bad. Don't you know that you cannot do that?
You just blew my mind with the windows and mirrors thing.
It's all, basically one giant hall of mirrors.
And I know, like, as
I
soon as
am
you
your
said
mirror,
it,
man. I'm nothing. I'm just a mirror for you.
yeah, I am too, more than I realize. Obviously, you can't,
Yeah,
it's not self-awareness.
basically two empty mirrors and just stuff bouncing back and forth.
Yeah, we should just stare at each other then. No, I'm just kidding. Um,
Eye gazing.
eye gazing.
Yeah,
No, have
yeah.
you ever seen when people do that on like shows? The like where they're trying to be all mindful and all that stuff. And you could have you ever noticed that moment where they're purposely doing it to try to seem more spiritual, and they're just staring at each other? That always freaks me
Think
out.
so. I think so. Basically, you just have to focus your eyes slightly off, where that person is.
Yeah, so it doesn't feel weird.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. Like I think relationships are such a good mirror, though. And it's not that there's anything like inherently wrong with being a certain way or whatever. You are how you are. But it's cool to keep like noticing and working through that, and then noticing and working through. Even though working is probably the wrong word for it, it's a
Yeah.
fascinating experience.
The way I think about this, right, is we do something, right, and then the other person perceives that as being wrong, as being a threat to them, as causing them pain,
Yeah,
and they express that explicitly or implicitly, right? And then we might react to that differently, right? We might take their reaction as attack on ourselves, right? And then we cannot even hear them.
that's
And
how I do it.
sometimes we're able to hear them out, right? And kind of try to see, okay, they're what I'm doing. I don't want to hurt them, right? But
Yeah,
what I'm doing is apparently is painful for them. So what can we figure out together? It's kind of like how can we sit on the same side of the table instead of like do this, no, do this, right? But can we try to sit on the same side of the table and together kind of figure out, okay, what can I do to not do things that seems to be hurtful to you, right? And vice versa.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I have, I'm pretty good at coming to understanding with people and communicating with people. That's one of my strong suits in life. But it seems like I do perceive a lot of things as attacks or personal.
Of course,
When,
and
yeah,
as soon as you perceive them that way, you cannot hear them out, right? Because
yeah,
then your whole being is like, oh, I need to defend myself.
yeah. And then later you realize like, oh, that's not an attack. They're just expressing their self, like I was expressing
Yeah,
myself. We don't have to. It's like, yeah, and it's something I'm trying to get past because I do want good relationships with everybody, with friends, family, my significant other. It's like it
yeah.
doesn't feel good to feel bad. Obviously, it's the word good and bad there, but um, it's difficult when you know that you're causing issues.
Well, it's of course we don't want to cause pain, right? And sometimes we're pissed off and we actually want to hurt the other person.
Right.
So all kinds of things happen.
This drink in here. I've got like these energy drinks. They're not mixing properly. I just noticed on the camera. I was like, "There's white powder at the bottom of this thing."
Nice.
I'm having too much caffeine recently. That also might make me a little weird because I have ADD, and I think I'm putting too much stuff in my body that's making me like react in crazy ways to things. To be honest with you, I don't feel as like free and loose. I feel like just kind of like I'm white
Nice.
knuckling everything.
Okay.
This is kind of cool, but at the same time, I think maybe another fast is in order soon,
Hmm.
um, and I can kind of from that maybe see how differently I feel from like when I'm putting all this stuff in my body and all that. And I think I need to maybe pay attention more this time
Yeah.
and do it less of like, all right, let's try to get thin quickly.
Hmm.
More of like a spiritual or a not spiritual, but like a self-awareness experiment potentially. Um, as far as like your relationship and stuff, is there any problems that you cause consistently or no?
No, I mean, the stuff that we're discussing again, it's all about, on the one hand, misunderstanding. On the other hand, we all have our buttons, right? And the other person has no idea what our buttons are, right? And maybe it's like their facial expression reminds us of how maybe our mom looked at us when we were young and she was angry, and now we kind of feeling so scared because that person close to us has similar facial expression, and they have no idea.
Yeah.
Maybe they're constipated. Who the fuck knows, right? But we are already scared and we already reacting, and then that kind of like goes in circles.
Yeah, I always read so much into every little thing, every voice tone, every look, every
Yes.
reaction. And it's like I have all this trauma from my past about dealing with family members and bad relationships. I'm
Yeah,
constantly just projecting all that stuff onto the people
of
around me.
course.
And it's
We
like
constantly do that.
I'm trying to see the mirror instead of the window more, like we were talking about.
Yeah.
Um, quit trying to look through everything and see through everything and behind it and just see myself in it more so. And then
Yeah.
also experience it for what it might be, which is just information at that time.
Not even that. I'll tell you this. It's not information, it's stuff. You know, you're angry, okay. You have this thought that they should be blamed for that, or you should be blamed for that because you're doing something wrong. Okay, it's just a thought, it's stuff, right? And
Yeah,
what does it mean? It means absolutely nothing beyond being that thought, being that feeling.
yeah,
And it doesn't mean ignore that stuff, right? If your nervous system, your brain can figure out like how to help the other person feel better, how to help ourselves feel better, we will try to do that. I think we kind of naturally, we have this natural empathy, right? And sometimes it flows through us easier. Sometimes we are angry or hurt, right? Then we kind of, it's much harder for us. Then when we feel our own strong emotion, right? Then we are disconnected from what the other person is feeling, right? And it feels bad in a relationship, right? You feel disconnected. You feel, yeah,
yeah. That always feels like way worse than any perceived attack. Is that
yeah,
after feeling of like, oh, I did something to hurt the other person or whatever. Like that's always way worse for whatever.
yeah. And you know what? Like, and sometimes when we open up again, then it's possible for us to say, "I'm sorry,
Yeah,
and I love you, and please forgive me, and help me," stuff like that, right? And
yeah,
it's sometimes so difficult because, like, oh, but they did this, and like they should, blah blah blah. Well, you know what? Fuck this shit.
yeah,
It's not about them. It's about, can you go a little, just one little step further, and be kind and gentle to yourself and to the other. And sometimes you can, sometimes you cannot.
yeah,
Nothing wrong with that. And when you see that sometimes you cannot, you can also appreciate the fact that sometimes the other person cannot. They being an ass and they are unable to not be that
yeah.
way at this moment, and that's fine. They're human just like you are.
Is there anything you do to help you see that stuff in those moments, or do you just kind of let it happen?
No, it used to. I used to be much more reactive. Like the emotion would really tense me. I would tense up, and
Yeah,
then I would be so stuck in my own pain that it would be impossible for me to connect with the other person and be soft with them and gentle. But I find that lately it's much easier because it's much easier for me to feel what is felt, and I'm not all tensed up, even through some very painful emotions, and because of that, I can be still kind and gentle with the other person, whatever they're going through, and I can be pissed off at them, right? But even when I'm pissed off, I'm not like violent and angry and blame
yeah,
them, but it's like I'm pissed off. Nothing
yeah,
wrong with being pissed off.
yeah. That's true. Like one thing, and I've been around like kids more recently, and that's also shown me because it's important to like not put your stuff onto them, right?
Yeah.
Might like cause an issue, and I've been pretty good about that. And it's interesting how, because I'm forced to always catch myself before I say things, before I react or whatever.
Hmm.
And it's bringing up a lot of like things where I notice in myself, like, oh, you would have normally been this way, but you're like scaling that down in order to not like have a bad effect on somebody else. Do you think having children helped you see this stuff, or did it just naturally take time still?
I mean, there are many questions on that question, right? And
Yeah,
w- we're all children. We just pretend to be adults, and yes, when you do become a parent, it's beautiful, and it can trigger the hell out of you, and uh, and you kind of see also when you're scared for that person, for that little person that you love, then you can become angry because you're trying to protect them, right? But in your mind,
yeah,
but your anger is very painful to them. So many things are learned in that, or we keep propagating our patterns. So yeah, it's like some of the most difficult relationships, right, with our significant other, with children.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, our timer just went off, so we'll wrap up.
Nice.
But it,
Yeah.
it is a good spot, and it just made me one last thought. It made me think of the thing that you have pinned on your Twitter X account, like about how raising kids is more about just giving unconditional love
Yeah.
and not putting all your stuff onto them. So it's
Yeah.
very interesting. Uh, cool. Anyway, I'll just shut the hell up right there and like
Right
let
on.
it end.
We'll
But
see you next time, guys.
all right, we'll see you next time. This has been the Mental Health Podcast. I don't know why I always do elbow drops and stuff, but I feel like people expect it now. Eh?
Right on.
All right, I'll shut up and let you go. I'll talk to you soon. I love you.
Love you.